fast to slow. That's a little better. We're underway.
In 1, we'll have Niles Vogt running for Puma, German 3K indoor and 10K outdoor champion. Charles Hicks, the NCAA champion, the Stanford hometown guy. He is obviously the crowd favorite here. He'll be bib 2. Sam Gilman of Air Force, who we were talking about off air, great story, great runner. He's bib 3. Andre Waring of Team Tempo Australia is bib 4. Carlos San Martin of Colombia is bib 5. Ollie Alberg, the Swedish champ in the 10,000, is bib 6. Peter Lynch, running unattached, is bib number 7. James Mara of Gonzaga is bib 8. Isaac Henn, running for Team Tempo Australia, ran 13:30 here last year. The South Aussie 1,500-meter champ is bib 9. Scott Beatty, running for Tulsa, 4th in the NCAA 5K conference champion in the 5K indoor and outdoors, is bib 10. Perry McKinnon of Cornell University, he is bib 11, won the B heat in the Stanford Invitational, still running 28:33 a few weeks ago. Ben Perrin of Montana State will be bib number 12, second in the Big Sky 3K and third in the 5K. Half-2 Knight of Texas, second in the Big 12 indoor 5K. He's bib 13. Oisin O'Gallen, running unattached, ran for West Bama, UT Martin, and then Wyoming. He's an Irish fella running bib 14. Thiago Andre, running unattached, he's bib 15. Elvert Silva, the former Portland pilot, will be doing his next collegiate stint at Oklahoma City, bib number 16, running unattached today. Spencer Nelson of Utah State, bib number 17. Bib number 18 is going to be Aiden Ryan of that Deep Washington squad, a transfer from Williams. Isaac Alonso is bib number 19 from Texas, ran a great 10K at Mount Sac. Matt Rankin of Iona, bib 20. Abraham Avila Martinez of Texas is bib number 21. Shuab Ajibe of Tulsa, the Wisco transfer, bib 22. Federico Bruno, running for Argentina, 5-time Argentinian champion in the 1500. He's bib 23. Partner, you mentioned Kai Robinson of Stanford doing some of the pacing. Just an incredible resume. Stanford record holder, 3K, 5K, and world champion qualifier. I think the pacing's in good hand. And a late add, Emil Bloomberg, the Swedish national champion, will round out the field, bib 25.
Well, it's interesting you were running through the names. As 2:40 through the first kilometer. That's Federico Bruno from Argentina. When they came by at the 600-meter mark in a lap and a half, Bruno made just, it seemed like a gentlemanly hand gestures, like, please go in front of me, to Kai Robinson. And then Robinson sort of hit him on the back, said, no, that's okay, you can go ahead. And it was interesting how that played out. But by the time they reached the back straight in 2:09, it was Federico Bruno who had put himself in the lead. So, Kai Robinson probably dialed into the tempo, and Bruno thinks it should be maybe a second or two quicker through each kilo. But again, 2:40 for the first 1,000 meters.
Well, I'm sure Kai Robinson has his instructions from his coach. And partner, we heard about this last time. Charles Hicks in the 10,000 meters of Stanford Invite had his instructions, disregarded him a little bit to go after the last 400 and take the win. So I imagine there's a little bit more of a correction back to, yeah, we'll do what coach tells us this time through.
Right, so 9 laps to go. Federico Bruno leading by 15 meters over Kai Robinson, who we have been told by the Stanford coaching staff is just in here for some pacing work, potentially through 3,000 meters.
Yeah, that was a 62.9 up front. Top time in the NCAA so far is Brian Faye's 13:21. Ran that at Brian Clay for UW. I think we could get a shot at that. Remember, 13:20 is also the U.S. standard. Not a lot of U.S. athletes, even several of the collegiates, are international athletes in this field, but something to keep in mind for the American fans is that's what it takes to qualify for the U.S. championships in this event, so you can at least get a feel for what that might mean for an international athlete running equivalent or faster. But partner Bruno, the Argentinian champion, he's going for it.
Yes, you had mentioned 5-time, I think, Argentinian champion. He's going through the line with 8 laps to go at 4:45, and he's got 5 seconds plus on Kai Robinson, who took a look at the watch and said, okay, I'm dialed in. we'll let Mr. Bruno lead by himself, but the big, long freight train procession for the rest of the field. Again, the field of 25, that's probably the pseudo max number where you get a good competitive 5,000 meter field. Throw 25 guys out there and let them go single file, and it covers about 35 meters.
Yeah, Bruno definitely getting after something crazy here. He's got a PB of nowhere near what he's running right now. He's run 13:31, 64 seconds per lap is 13:20, which is more or less what Kai Robinson is clicking off up front. I'm sure that's what his coach asked him to do. Bruno, just a note, is not a rabbit in this field. He is entered with the intention of completing the race. Kai Robinson is the rabbit. He's leading the chase pack right now with Charles Hicks, his teammate, behind him, but it is Bruno up front. Maybe seeing something in training that we haven't seen on the sheet because he's been clicking off 62s, 63s, but still a decent way to go in this race as the chase pack comes through with Robinson followed by Hicks, followed by Andre Waring in that neon kit in third.
He has really been busting it up front. Federico Bruno, we will get his halfway mark at the top of the main straightaway, but right now his lead is a solid 50 plus, maybe 60 meters as he goes through the starting line area for this 12.5 lap distance. But Federico Bruno will hit 2,500 meters when he hits the main straightaway. And he's going to be 6:36, so 13:12 pace.
We'll see if he can hang on to it. He's clearly gotten after it early. South American champion, two-time South American Championship silver medalist, and he's been top 8 at Pan Ams 3 times, so he's used to big races. I imagine coming out to Payton Jordan, he was expecting to have some folks to work with here. But Kai Robinson's still doing his job, clicking off 64s, doing good work with Charles Hicks on his shoulder. Still on pace for an NCAA lead here in the chase pack.
Yeah. And about 10 seconds between Bruno in front and Kai Robinson leading the group. After my interview with Cassie Parker, a member of the Loris contingent, said that they were so happy that we delivered the good weather, and I wasn't going to take credit for it, but they said when they got out here, they were worried that it was going to be warmer than they hoped it would be. But as soon as the sun went down and the lights really took effect, the cool night air has really grabbed hold of Cobb Track, and these conditions that the athletes come to Stanford for are definitely in play right now. Again, Federico Bruno with 5 to go, 7:53.
Federico Bruno, your clear leader. Kai Robinson and Charles Hicks leading the chase pack as it looks like Kai is going to step off here, giving some encouragement to Charles Hicks, who won the Stanford Invitational. My guess is Hicks has been given very clear instructions to run as close to 13:20 as possible, which would guarantee him into the NCAA, but the Stanford folks, from what we've seen in previous meets, they really try to control early races, very much like you see kind of their pipeline, the Bowerman Track Club doing, of not really hammering the early season races and saving the racing for when it counts in the postseason. But Charles Hicks is now leading the chase pack, but Federico Bruno of Argentina, the 5-time champion, is 100 meters ahead of the rest of this field. Is this at all what we were expecting when we looked at the heat sheets?
13 seconds was the gap the last time around. He went through in 7:53. Charles Hicks and his teammate Kai Robinson, who did pace through 3,000, were at 8:06. Federico Bruno, you see, though, he's starting to show the fatigue as his body starts to break down a little bit. His form is looking a little rough, but he's got lots of open track behind him.
He's still moving, though. That was a 2:07 last 800, but let's talk about this chase back here because we have some movement. That's Carlos San Martin of Colombia running in that bright blue Adidas kit. He is now leading the chase back. He comes in with a 13:52 personal best, so also running well ahead of his best here, getting some Stanford magic on the Cobb track. In second, I was going to say that's Sam Gilman, who you were talking about earlier.
That's right. Who runs for Air Force, had several opportunities to talk to that young man indoors. And again, truly committed to the mission of the Air Force Academy and defending our country, but also with the desire to run professionally. as Federico Bruno continues to attack the distance. Coming up on 3 to go at 10:03.
Well, he has slowed. That was a 64.8, but if he runs a couple more 64.8s, I can tell you he is not coming back because he has put in such a huge gap on the rest of this field. San Martin leading the chase back in second. Sam Gilman in third position, second in the chase back. Scott Beatty, an athlete to watch, in third. He's got tremendous foot speed. Peter Lynch behind him, and Everett Silva looking very, very fresh. I've lost track of position. I think in sixth. I'm losing track of it with Bruno so far ahead. It's hard to remember who's up there.
And it looked like that was Everett Silva when he came by the home straightaway trying to get the crowd into it. He made a motion with his right arm. He's like, come on, let's hear it. We're really dialed in this 5,000 meters, the first of 2 men's heats, but dialed in the greatest so far is Federico Bruno from Argentina with 2 to go.
And the Nike speed suit putting on a show here. Those athletes behind him, he's making them look like JV athletes, and that's some of the best athletes in the NCAA in that chase pack. But Bruno just running away from them 130 meters ahead. And here we go. We'll get some more eyes on the chase pack. It's Sam Gilman of Air Force doing the work, followed by Scott Beatty. Half to Knight moving up for Texas. San Martin has dropped back a little bit. That's Peter Lynch running unattached in that blue and yellow singlet. You said Everett Silva, you're right, sitting there in about 6. He looks very smooth and controlled. He's got a really good turn of speed. Keep an eye on him in the end. Charles Hicks, farther back in the pack than we might have expected after watching him kick such tail at the Stanford Invite. What do you think?
Yeah, group of 12. He's sitting in the number 8 position right now. And as soon as his teammate moved off the track, Kai Robinson finished his 3,000 pacing duties. Charles Hicks started to move back, but now he's again gained another life late in the race. He's back up into the number 7 position, but here goes Federico Bruno. The crowd is into it. 1 lap to go, 12:11. 1 man against the clock. He's been on a crusade since early in the race, just about the 800-meter mark. He took over the lead from Kai Robinson, who was the intended pace setter and set the pace for most of the field. And Sam Gilman from Air Force right now leads the chase pack through with Silva right behind him at 12:31.
Yeah, watch Silva to take over this chase pack. But speaking of chasing Bruno, I'll tell you what he's chasing. He is chasing the Argentinian national record, 13:19, set by Antonio Sillo in 1991.
Wow.
I think he's going to get it.
12:50 on the clock. So a 1991 national record. We had a 20-year-old D3 national record go down to Cassie Parker. Here comes Bruno. And he is going to succeed in his mission by a big margin. Federico Bruno with the Argentinian national record of 13:11.57. And here comes Sam Gilman and Silva. Silva looks back as he makes the pass.
Everett Silva showing that
look
foot
at him,
speed, getting
yes.
the crowd involved. The bad boy in track and field, celebrating winning the chase back. You don't see that too much, but 15:29. Sam Gilman coming in third, close behind Scott Beatty in fourth. And let's see where that time puts Gilman on the NCAA list, 30.36. He's going to tie Nico Young's 8th position in the NCAA. A lot of those guys just stamped their tickets to the NCAA championship meet.
And again, the runner doing whatever he could to pull himself across the line.
Rolling over to get the finish shows you how hard the 5,000 meters can be. That is Oisin O'Gallen, who was rolling over, doing everything he could to finish. Everett Silva already in the stands, getting some love from the fans.
Not what we anticipated for the storyline playing out in the first heat of the men's 5,000.
No, I was not expecting that, but Frederic Bruno, a new Argentinian national champion and the winner of the Payton Jordan men's 5,000 meter.
And he breaks it by about 8 seconds, and that was all him from 800 meters on. It was everything he had inside that he just, you saw him digging down.